Alright, I hope everything is working correctly, because, oh god, this is hastily put together. Alright, sick. Everything's working, in the theory. Alright, I'll just wait to see what I should name Hero. And then we can get started on this nightmare. Yeah, uh, a word of warning, there are a few bugs with this English patch. Like, this isn't a finished English patch by any means. So there are a few things I do that Japanese runners don't in order to make sure I don't crash the game. Because, man, crashing a game on a run is not a thing you want to do. Anyway, yeah, this is DQ6 on the Super Famicom, using no progresses English patch, as you can see. This run's pretty fun, honestly. Like, I'm enjoying it a lot, enjoyed learning it, and I'm enjoying running it, but bosses are a thing. And oh boy. The DQ6 run, has quickly become infamous for having incredibly tough bosses and quite possibly the hardest final boss in a speedrun setting in a Dragon Quest game. So I am very, very excited to show off how incredibly difficult some bosses can be. And hopefully everything goes well. I hope my internet holds up for this. Like, man. That's like a pretty big concern of mine, because Australia's internet is not known for being stable or good. So hopefully everything goes well. Oh, no progress strokes. If I was using a different emulator, I would load up, I'd load up a save state and mess around, but because I'm using SNES 9X 1.53, I don't have save states set up correctly. So you get to stare at this screen for a while. I might do some last minute checking of my notes while we wait. Alrighty. Let's get this going. Okay. Alright. This game has like a 5 minute long, close to 5 minute long intro sequence where 3 heroes go to fight this big bad demon guy called Muto. Who, like, this game, what this game pulls is something I really enjoy. And, like, the true big bad guy isn't revealed to fairly late in the game, and it's a pretty neat twist. This game, I think a lot, if not all, SNES Dragon Quest runs, except maybe 5, I guess. Thanks to the movement, the lack of tile-based movement, you can do like weird half-step stuff to reduce NPC movement, and I hope to show off some of those tricks, but they're actually fairly difficult to pull off. Oh. You get to see this exact sequence a couple of times in the run, and it's like 1.5 minutes long. Having breaks is cool, but having a break less than a minute into the run is weird. Oh, that's another thing about this game. The random encounter rate is incredibly weird because I've seen runners and I've had practice runs where I just get no encounters at all, and I've also seen runs and had runs where I'm getting encounters every 5 steps or so, and there has to be something like some kind of manipulation, but I haven't looked into it. Hopefully the encounter rate doesn't treat me too poorly. The music in this game is phenomenal. Like, music in this game is so goddamn good. after this like 5-minute intro sequence, things like kind of go at a slow pace until the 15-minute mark or so, and then things start picking up quite rapidly. That name's gonna throw me off so much. Oh, I'm so used to having single character names because of practice. So this will be an interesting experience. Big bad evil guy, Miro. Is right there, and he doesn't like that we've come to kill him. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna send you far away. Using spooky magic stuff. And then you wake up, and it was all seemingly a dream. Alright, I was scared. I pressed confirm there. Mashing in this game is pretty simple and kind of tough if you want to do it well. You mash L for confirm, and then you'll either mash B if the choice coming up is no, or A if the choice coming up is yes. And you have to alternate it in a specific rhythm. No, you don't buy a leather shield. Yeah, early on, well, specifically in the mountain pass, you can potentially, if you aren't careful, you can just straight up die. So I need to be wary, because random encounters, there are some random encounters, because you don't buy armor here, that deal like 3 to 4 damage a hit, and it's pretty brutal. So hopefully things go well. Need to head down to Sienna and sell off these goods that your village chief wants you to. And there we get to haggle with some merchants to make sure we get enough gold to buy stuff we need. Buy some good armor. Buy some good armor, buy some herbs. In a normal RTA, or like a setting where you're okay to reset, you wouldn't pick up that medical herb because it just wastes time. But for a no reset setting, it's way safer to pick up a herb just in case. Because until 3 hours, 4 hours in, random encounters are really, really dangerous. But once you go to Dharma and get sneak, things start becoming easier. And all you have to worry about is bosses destroying you. This has gone well so far. Alright. Now that you're in Shiar, your first goal is to go to these merchants who want to buy your goods, and then tell them no repeatedly until one of them offers you 480 gold. Once you get 480 gold, you can buy really good items like the Thief's Key really early on, and then sell it immediately. A lot of the early parts of the run are just going around to towns, doing story triggers and picking up items to make sure you don't die against the upcoming boss. I'll keep the medical herb. I could sell it for a bit of extra gold. Although it messes up menus too, shit. I could sell it for some extra gold, but that isn't really worth it. It's a lot safer to keep it. Even with that extra medical herb, there's potential to just like run out of medical herbs completely because of strats that you use. Oh yeah, another thing about this English patch is that some of the text boxes just don't work outright, and it's pretty bad. There's one merchant later on that doesn't have any text translated at all, and instead of leaving it in Japanese, you just get random numbers. That could have been... Oh, I have Scale Armor and Scale Shield. You get Scale Armor and Scale Shield early and they last you for a decent amount of time. You try to save this dude who turns out to be the guy who's making the crown for your village's spirit festival, and then you fall through a hole in the wall. This game like escalates pretty quickly, I've found. Style... In this game, as far as I know, style's just for the style contest, which is like a mandatory part of the story, but like, I don't know. There are a lot of the parts of this game, like casually, that I kind of, like, don't quite get, so... This run, honestly, I couldn't tell you, like... The Japanese run, 7 hours. 7.5, I guess. The English run, or the English patch run, is however goddamn long it takes. My estimated time's like 9 hours because of text differences. But there's so much RNG in the run that like I honestly couldn't tell you. The 12-hour estimate in this marathon specifically is because there are bosses in this game that can troll you for a very long time. You go through that wall and it returns you back to what your character perceives as the real world, and you go back to this guy and he's incredibly surprised you are alive after falling through the wall. And then he's quickly like, yeah, okay, take the crown, go back to your village, they'll be happy to see you. And then you get the next slow part of the game. You talk to your village chief and he's like, do you have the spirit crown? And of course you've returned to the village with the spirit crown, so you say yes. And then he wonders if you have any trouble, and no matter what you answer, he's just like, yeah, okay, I'm busy, I'm sorry, you can wait. Which I've always found fairly funny. I believe Chrono Trigger and Dragon Quest have the same art dude, Akira Toriyama, so that's probably why. Text differences applying to battle text. It does, yeah, text applies to battle text. Oh, you need to mash through all this. This is like a very speedrunner problem I have, but text blocks in this part don't scroll automatically. So, you need to mash through this incredibly slow cutscene. Then you're all piled into the church for this weird ceremony that I've never quite understood. Then your sister, who is the maiden in the ceremony, I believe, walks up to you and is possessed by what seems to be the mountain spirit of the village, who's like, you're the chosen hero, go save the world. As is typical of most Dragon Quest games, you are the chosen hero. Oh, there's text boxes. Some of the dialogue in this game is pretty funny, I'll give it that. Alright, this part is funny to me. And I'm not sure if there's like any follow-up to this. Yeah, for the most part, the sprites of this game are really, really good. Like, I like them a lot. And the backgrounds are great. Later on, you'll see what is quite possibly my favorite sprite. It's a great sprite, is all I'll say. It probably is. I don't know. I casualed this a long time ago, and haven't really done a casual playthrough since. So a lot of the story elements I'm not 100% certain on. Oh shoot! I'm glad I remember most of the early game. My notes were still scrolled down. Alright. You go here to take a nap because you did so much. You did so much talking and walking that you're tired and need to sleep. Now we head down to Rhynoc, this big castle town. In order to become Rhynoc's probably my favorite town. The story surrounding Rhynoc is really interesting. Oh, I did this out of order, but whatever. Coming up soon, we get to meet the best character in this game, Hassan. Hassan is amazing in battle and a pretty cool character to boot. Yeah, this game, using return in this game is weird. For the most part you can zoom inside castles and houses, but there are some areas where you can't. Like, there's a house at the top of Murago's tower where he's like chilling with his pot of magic stuff, and you can't return out of that house because I guess it's like counted as a dungeon, which is weird, but whatever. Okay, NPCs can block you, and man, is it annoying. Alright, now we can finally fight some encounters instead of doing story stuff. I need to get to level 3 before the mandatory encounter in this castle, in this tower. So we fight some battles. There are some battles that just flat out aren't worth it, or are very dangerous. Because even with scale armor and scale shield, you can still die fairly easily. Optimally, you would do one encounter outside of the tower and one encounter inside the tower, but sometimes the experience just doesn't work out. This little thing, I'm going to be honest and say, I don't know what that does, but I know that every run I've watched of SNES DQ6 does that. And from what I understand, it skips a trigger of some kind. I'm just not sure what trigger. I haven't looked into it. There are still, like, even with the work I've put into this run, there are still quite a lot of things I just don't understand about this game. Which is an interesting problem to have, to be honest. This is, I was gonna say that's a good encounter, but no. Okay, if that's the reason, that's interesting. Oh, the arrow dogs. This is the two worst enemies you can have. Arrow dogs can call in reinforcements, and gas clouds can cast blaze, and blaze is incredibly dangerous at this level. But luckily, the arrow dog cooperated and didn't call in a bunch of reinforcements. You use a medical herb there to both to heal up and to empty a slot in your inventory, because this game you can't use items out of your bag, which is incredibly annoying. Alright. This is, I wouldn't call this a boss, but it's a mandatory encounter. And it's pretty simple. Attack him until your HP gets to 21, and then use a medical herb, and rinse and repeat. Your HP is below 21, and he powers up to do an attack. There's a chance you will die, and if your HP is below 18, there's a higher chance you will die. So this is just attacking and healing. Well, that's dangerous. But I dodged. That was a good fight. I got a herb from it too. The fight wasn't optimal in terms of time, but in terms of like safety, that went really, really well. I got a herb, so I have an extra herb for the upcoming parts. And I'm fairly sure I still have 2 herbs left. I'll have to check before I pick up this chest coming up, or the chest after this one. This run relies a lot on small medals, because the rewards you get from small medals in this game are really, really good. Like weapons, like Sword of Miracles, Ruby of Power is really good. Sage's Stone is mandatory for the run. Without a Sage's Stone, the late game would be impossible. But yeah, like, small medals are pretty much required. The route I'm using gets 70 small medals for the metal King Helm, I believe. But you can still beat the game with 60 small medals. The Metal King Helm's just there for safety. Yeah, okay, alright. NPCs, some NPCs drive me up the wall. Alright. Here we buy 6 Wing of the Wyverns in order to last us until Hero gets Zoom, or Sandwich gets Zoom. I'm gonna keep calling it Zoom. One problem I've noticed with this is because I did a casual playthrough on the DS version, I use the DS translation a lot when talking about things. Alright. Money is so tight early on that while I would like to buy some herbs for safety there, I can't. Because I would not have enough money. Like, for the most part, almost the entirety of the run, like, gold is incredibly tight. To the point where, like, you can buy a couple of herbs and then not have enough gold for equipment you need. Excuse me. So, pretty tough. Alright, now we have Hassan. Hassan is so incredibly good, both casually and for the speedrun, because his natural stats are, like, his natural strength's really high, his HP's really high, and he hits like a truck, and he's just really good. Okay. We need to do enough fights to get Hassan to level 4. Because that makes things easier in the short term. He'll survive. Like, he'll survive random encounters. Or have a higher chance to survive random encounters. That was a really good random encounter, lasted a couple of turns, and got me to level 4. And now we just run from every encounter. For the next while. Here we need to go pick up this wild horse that's been rampaging because an old guy in Rydok wants it, I believe. I'm really, like, not sure on a lot of story beats in this. There's a lot of small movement optimizations in this part, which is, like, really interesting to me, but I don't know. The appeal of SNES DQ games to me is just all the weird movement stuff you can do. Alright. We got the horse, so we're gonna return to Rydok and talk to the old man inside the castle. When you talk to the guard in order to get the castle, the response he has is pretty funny. I enjoy it. You say no, you don't actually understand why the horse shouldn't be in the castle, and he's just like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll let you into the castle. Alright. Here, if you talk to the old man at the bottom left corner of his sprite, you save half a second or so through NPC movement. It's one of the half-step tricks that I really enjoy. But it's like, the time save versus how difficult it is to pull off is not worth it. like, part of it has to do that, like, I'm on emulator. I don't actually own this game on console, and don't really have a way to stream it. But man, some of it's really, really hard to pull off, and a lot of the Japanese runners can pull it off with ease, and it scares me. Now you talk to the king, and the king's like, I need the Mirror of Ra. So go find the Mirror of Ra. We pick up the Silver Tiara for selling reasons, and then we're off to find the Mirror of Ra. This is, for the next 30 minutes or so, random encounters are incredibly dangerous. And it's very, it's very likely I could die, so I am hoping things go well. In the early game, I said before that bosses are really difficult, like the hardest part of this run. But for the early game, that's definitely not the case, because bosses are a complete pushover. And random encounters are brutal. The whole, like, do you have a good reason to be in my house? No. Or, like, this whole conversation with the woodcutter is interesting. And then you find out a bit about Hassan's backstory, which is also interesting. The premise of this game is really neat. They do it pretty well, although there's some silly things here and there. Oh, text box. And now, like, the whole reason you have to come here is to find out about Mirror of Ra. And then the woodcutter's just like, no, I've never heard of the Mirror of Ra. So after building a shed for him and going through all this work, he's just like, no, I can't really help you, but I'll tell you this story. I find it weird that, like, the tone of this game, I wouldn't say it's all over the place, but there is some parts like that where it's just like, no, I'm, like, very happy and, like, funny and such, and then later on it just gets real dark. Alright, this is the first dungeon, or quote-unquote dungeon, that's really difficult. Because you have babbles that can poison you and deal a lot of damage. And, oh, that's real bad. Alright, we have so many medical herbs that I could just heal Hassan and be fine. I don't, oh actually I do have to get rid of, never mind. I was gonna say I don't have to get rid of poison, but I definitely do. Alright, that's fine. And then we equip Hassan Bamboo spear, little shield, little hat, bronze shield. Alright, now Hassan and Hero have similar defense. So Hassan won't take as much damage anymore. But the threat of poison is still present. To be honest, like, Babbles is the only thing truly dangerous in this dungeon. But Babbles are pretty common. So like this dungeon isn't like, I wouldn't call this dungeon overly hard, but it's definitely dangerous. That's a lot of dungeons in Dragon Quest VI, it's just that, like, this isn't run ending or anything like that, but things can go poorly. These tail eaters waste so much time. Alright, I'm gonna take the safe route here. You could, like, it's faster to walk through the poison, but for the most part, I personally just avoid the poison because I don't want to die. You go into Dharma here to get the return point for later on. And then it's off to San Marino. Alright, this town has an interesting story to it, and this part is very silly to me. Alright, pick up an herb for safety. Pick up a small metal because it's on the way. You pick up an iron core here, and it turns into Hassan's weapon for the next hour or so. And then it's time to do some story triggers. Alright. The maid and the mayor's son are in love and want to get married and be together and such, but the maid's like, no, I work for your dad. I can't. And then, like, the story surrounding those two and the mail starts. And one of the scenes that isn't actually funny, but I find really funny, is coming up. This random chick comes in and is just like, okay, I don't like the maid, so I'm gonna poison the dog food. And then the maid comes down and feeds the mayor's dog. Because it's dog feeding time. And because the dog food's poison, the dog doesn't exactly feel well after eating the food. Then the mayor finds out the dog's food was poisoned, and the dog's like gonna keel over and almost die. Poor dog. So the mayor's like, okay, the maid has to be put in jail. A poor dog. I've it's mean, but that scene always gets me. Like I always chuckle to myself because the whole idea that like to continue, like to progress in the story, you have to watch a dog nearly die because of poison. It's just silly to me. Alright, now we've done story triggers. We watched the dog nearly die. So now we go to the docks and talk to one of the few people that can see us in this world. Or I guess like she can't see us, so she take that back. She can't see us, but can sense our presence. So her son's like, no, we shouldn't follow her. We should go to the church, which we're going to do because this is this is a run that's supposed to be completed. It's supposed to get to the end game. So dying in the first truly difficult dungeon is not something that should happen. So normally you would just go outside and follow Muriel, but here we're going to save for safety. Alright, so now we go outside and start following Muriel to Grandma's house. As according to Muriel, she is the only way we can be seen in this world. Or she knows the way we can be seen in this world. So you've travelled all this way from Samaranda to here. You meet Grandma's. And then Grandma's is like, okay, go to sleep, and we'll deal with this tomorrow. I'm an old lady, I'm tired. Alright. Inventory management is a fairly big part of this game because menus are slow. Menus are slow and you can't use items out of the bag, as I said earlier, so you have to put items in specific characters' inventories, and because the menu closes when you move items, you have to try and keep track of characters' inventories at all times, which is actually pretty difficult. Like, I understand English pretty well, and I still find it difficult, so I can't even imagine trying to do this in Japanese myself. Alright, so Grandma's is like, go to the Cave of Dream Scene, take Muriel with you. So you do that, except in this version of Dragon Quest VI, Muriel, if you take Muriel along with you, she just does nothing. She just comes with you and chills and doesn't do anything in battle. In the DS version, which changes like a surprising amount of stuff, Muriel actually helps you in battle, and that's really useful for that run. But for now, we just take Muriel along, and she watches as we get sorted. This has been good so far, I say as I get an encounter. That's a good encounter. There's an enemy in here called Baby Goyle. And they know Fireball. Or Fireball. And they know an AoE fire spell, I can't remember what it's called in this translation. And that spell deals a lot of damage early on. And is actually pretty dangerous. 4 baby Goyles would have been game over. Because they have a tendency to use the AoE fire spell. Supposed to do this in battle or whatever. We put his son in front because he has the highest defense and the highest HP. And can tank hits better than Hero can. And since, like, in typical DQ fashion, the person in the first party slot is the most likely to get targeted. A lot of, especially late game, a lot of strats revolve around switching party order, depending on people's HP. There's a Metal Slime here, but Metal Slimes are quite dangerous this early on. So for the most part we avoid them. There's in similar fashion to Dragon Quest VII, there's area level caps where once you unlock classes and you're fighting enemies, specific areas have level caps where if you're above that level, you can't get battle experience. So if we're too high level, the grinding session later on just won't work. So we have to be really careful about how many battles we fight and how much experience we get. Okay, this is really bad. Like, this is incredibly bad. Don't do this. Because Bloody Paw uppered himself twice, there's a chance he can become unable to move. And if he does that, we can't deal damage to him, so it's like we're basically in a state of not being able to win. Cool. Okay, that went really well. We didn't get experience from that fight, which is bad. If Bloody Paw kills himself, or he gets stunned and is unable to move, and you kill him, you get experience, which is useful. But optimally, you want him to run away as soon as possible. So that fight was dangerous, but went pretty well, as it turns out. Alright. Here you pick up a bronze knife to sell, and then after that, you remove all the equipment from your characters and death warp out of here, which as it turns out is the fastest way to exit this dungeon, as you don't have outside yet. Alright, then you respawn in the church in the real world, and you head back to Grandmaster's. In the DS version, as I found out recently, thanks to Ice Spirits, you can't actually death warp out of that dungeon, because if you do, you return to the last church you used in the dream world. Which is interesting. Alright, you picked up Dream Seeing drops from that cave, and then Grandma's is like, okay, I'm gonna put the drops on you, and you're gonna be able to be seen in this world now. Alright, and then you find out that Muriel was also from the dream world. And that's why she could sense you and talk to you. And then Grandmother's like, okay, Muriel, go with these guys and save the world. And now you have Muriel. Muriel is useful for some of the game, but for the most part, especially late game, she becomes kind of useless because her HP is so low. In like this next story trigger that you need to do is, I don't understand the logic behind it. You need to go into the mayor's house and talk to his son, Joseph. And from my casual playthrough and like reading about others' casual playthroughs as well, this story tree, like finding out about this part and what you need, like, and who you need to talk to and such is not explained very well at all. Right. Now we go buy a boat ticket for a stupid amount of money and sail on to Rydok. We pick up the fur hoodie for more armor. Because armor is always good. I have just enough money. That's interesting. Alright. Now we walk to Rydok and sell a bunch of stuff in order to buy royal clothes to progress the story. Because the people in this world's Rydok are looking for the prince who went missing, and our main character looks remarkably similar to said prince, except he's dressed in scale armor instead of fancy royal clothes. So you need to go to the armor shop, sell a bunch of stuff. My menus are bad, in case you couldn't tell. Alright, now we buy royal clothes for Hero and equip it. And then all of a sudden he looks like the prince. So you go up to the gates, and while they would normally say no, you can't come in, they recognize our hero as the prince and are like, yeah, come on in, it's fine. Now we need to head down to the prison cells to do a story trigger thing. And the guy's just like, the minister. Now that you're back, the minister should stop acting weirdly. Except the minister doesn't stop acting weirdly, of course. So you head up into the royal chambers, pick up this item, and then find out that your supposed father and mother have been sleeping. I'm not sure if there was ever an exclamation mark, to be honest. He asks you what happened to your sister, and then you just answer with anything, and he's just like, that isn't the answer, you're fake. And the general was responsible for it all. Do you get kicked out of the castle? You get kicked out of Rhodok and then you just go right back in, stroll into the town, all casual like. And then you talk to this merchant, who tries to push these stories onto you. And then of course, in typical fashion, I accidentally listened to one of those stories. Okay, so here is the merchant I was talking about earlier that just doesn't have the text implemented correctly. So these text boxes are actually faster than the Japanese versions, because there's no goddamn text. Alright, now you buy 3 silver bracelets which increase agility, and then you buy 1 for every single person. Alright, I messed up menus there, but that's fine. Give this to Hassan. Royal clothes. I'm doing the equipping through this menu instead of the equip menu, because the equip menu can just straight up freeze. Alright. Now we go pick up some more items for Muriel for the upcoming dungeon. Oh, I don't even... Oh, right, because my inventory's messed up. I didn't have a wing in someone's inventory, so I'm just wasting time, but... it doesn't bother me too much. Alright, now we travel to Amoru. Or Amor, as my notes say. Because some of the translations in this are questionable. One of the few things in this game that you can do to reduce encounter rate is to go up or downstairs or enter a dungeon on the overworld, and it resets hidden... I refer to it as like a threat rating, where the more steps you take, the higher chance you have of an encounter, and going up or downstairs or going into a dungeon reduces that threat counter to 0, I believe, or at least reduces it, like, significantly. Unfortunately, that stops being useful fairly quickly. One of the very real dangers of this run, because you pick up so many small medals, is just missing one small medal completely. After the first trip to the Metal King's castle, it's fine if you miss a couple because you pick up extra in this route. But missing a small medal before the first trip is really dangerous. So, you talk to a bunch of people around Amora, and then talk to the priest in the church, and because there's no places to stay in Amora at the moment because it's all crowded, the priest is like, you can go sleep in the room downstairs since the old lady's awake. So you sleep and then you're in a completely different world somehow. And the waterfall is red. For reasons. So you go into this house, pick up some stuff for Muriel so she can take a couple of hits. And pick up some water of Amora's for later on. Water of Amora is really useful, but you don't get many in the run. Just thanks to them being around Amora. I didn't change order. Alright, you put Muriel in the back row because she has the least defense out of all of you. And then you head to the dungeon. Cave of Amora. This is the first and what would normally be the only instance of grinding for Metal Slimes in this run. I'll be grinding on King Metal Slimes later on for safety, because the last boss is really tough without them. But here, we collect a bunch of items and then fight some Metal Slimes. We only need one of them, but getting that one is difficult. Up. Even with all of the equipment we have, random encounters can still be pretty dangerous, because magic still does a lot of damage. So we have to be pretty careful about keeping track of HP, current HP, and random encounters. Fireball, that's the spell. Baby girls use Fireball, which is really dangerous. Taking too long to get Metal Slimes is pretty bad because Muriel's MP decreases and you need at least 8 MP by the end of this dungeon because Muriel learns the outside. Ah, this is a pretty bad encounter. Having 2 baby goyles isn't very good. I might have to run. Yeah, I'm not taking that. Like, 2 baby goyles and a metal slime is really dangerous. Uh... Being down 40 gold shouldn't be too bad. I might kill this goyle in order to have some extra gold. This metal slime is being cooperative. Of course, I missed a bunch. Sandwich doesn't have a weapon at the moment because DQ6 is weird in that if you have a boomerang, you can't, if you have a boomerang and a metal slime is the enemy to the left, like the first enemy on the left, you can't hit it. So... I should have made a save in a more... This is going poorly. Metal slime's attacking first is a thing I haven't seen in a while. Ah. Oh man, that took longer than it needed to. I need to see what level Hero gets to. If he gets to level 7 and Muriel gets to 6, I believe. No, it's 8. He learns return at 8. Interesting. Alright. Muriel doesn't have much MP, so this could go pretty poorly. Alright, cool. Muriel has outside, Hero has return, which is what you grind metal slimes for. This, I'm just gonna Hero and Hassan. Alright, and then we can go to we can go to the boss. Alright. The enemies that you can get in encounters down here are pretty dangerous, even with our levels being so high. So I hope things don't go too bad. I want to avoid using Muriel's MP too much. Um, 46, need to heal that. I can use the water over more, or I can, because I have extra medical herbs, take one out of the bag and use it on here. Alright, check to make sure. Yep, alright, everything's set. Put his son in the first slot. His son always attacks, hero uses self, and Muriel can up her. Once sap has landed once, we just attack. And we upper everyone at least once to make sure they don't take too much damage. Alright, once that's done, we just attack with everyone. This fight's been going slow because not Muriel, Hassan's confused and Hassan's our primary damage dealer. This is about as poorly as the fight can go. Since in the SNES version, there are some characters that have natural resistance to the elements or status effects, and Muriel has a natural resistance to confuse. So Muriel can't be confused in that fight, but the other two can, and it just loses a lot of the time. In the DS version, character natural resistances were removed, so that fight can potentially go pretty bad on the DS version. I'll wait till I get out of this part of the dungeon. Oh, there's no enemies anymore actually. If I remember correctly, so I can go here, Hassan, Muriel. You put Muriel in front to access outside easily. If you think I'm dead, so I steal your thing. You steal my things. You also have Muriel in first because Muriel wants the speed ring for Mudo. You can't use outside on these stairs, you have to take one step down, then use outside. Now you head to Amora. You go here and sell off some stuff and buy a giant hammer for his son. This will be interesting. I don't have enough money for it. I don't have a bamboo spear. Not the bamboo spear. Alright, time to go outside and fight some random encounters because... I need the giant's hammer. Although I might have to go back into the cave a little more, except I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sell the water, the 2 waters, which is bad. I need leather shield. I can, yeah, okay, alright. I can recover this. Because if I get into another random counter, I should get enough gold to buy the giant's hammer. I just won't have any gold left. 1 water and 1 herb. Alright, that's good. Alright. Coming up is a really difficult dungeon. The boss you have to fight in it is not really that difficult, just more annoying than anything. But the encounter rate and what's actually in the encounters is pretty dangerous. I just returned to Amora. So before we go into the dungeon, we're gonna save. Because, like, I am already low on gold. So taking a game over would be bad. Alright. This wasn't released in English, no. They got a fan translation. But yeah, the DS version of this game was released in English. Alright. Muriel has inventory space. Pick up half plate. Equip half plate. Alright, Muriel buffs everyone. Hassan fights Hero Seps. Ideally we want Sap to land on the same zombie twice, but that doesn't happen all that often, so we just deal with what we get. No, that's normal poison, so we can take that. This fight has the potential to go really, really poorly, but most of the time it doesn't. But it can definitely take longer than it needs to if too many of the zombies start casting heal too often. Or if everyone gets hit with Toxic. Toxic is definitely, like, the one part of this fight that's truly dangerous. Luckily, if someone's got inflicted with poison, normal poison, they can't be inflicted with Toxic. And normal poison doesn't deal damage in battle, it only deals damage when you're walking outside of battle. Thankfully. Alright, 2 zombies it is, so we change the order to Hassan, Hero, and Muriel. I can make this fight go a bit faster by casting Sap with Hero again, but I want all the MP I can get. Because the enemies in this dungeon hit really hard. I want to have as much MP as possible to heal with. Alright, that went reasonably well. How much MP does Mirio have? 20? That's good. This dungeon theme is one of my favorite songs in this game. This is what I was talking about earlier. About like the encounter rate and how weird and inconsistent it is. Because normally, in practice and in attempts I've done, this dungeon has a really high encounter rate. But so far it's been pretty good. These guys have the potential to deal a lot of damage with Wind Slash, but they've been kind so far. We go up here to hit this lever to open up the door to the left tower. Because we need to ascend the left and right towers to break the orbs that are keeping the middle room afloat. Shadows are quite possibly the most dangerous enemy in this dungeon, because they can do Cold Breath, which is an AoE attack, which is always bad, like always dangerous in DQ games. And they do an AoE attack, it does like mid-10s in terms of damage, but shadows can appear. You can have a max of 4 shadows, I believe, appearing at once in an encounter. So that's like 40 to 60 damage, potentially. Maybe even more. As much as I want to avoid using MP, I'm gonna have to heal after this. Because everyone's HP is was starting to get dangerously low. Outside of like the death during the Metal Slime grind, this has been going pretty well. I'm happy with it so far. It's been pretty fun too. And having fun is always good. Because I don't want to use too much MP, especially with Hero, because Hero needs to return a lot. I'll occasionally take out medical herbs from my bag. You can get away with not picking up that agility seed. It's not necessary to have Hero's agility increase that much, but it definitely helps. Because for a significant part of the game, Hero is a healer. Like, oh, he's not necessarily a priest, like he doesn't use spells to heal, but there's an item called the Game Cane, which is the healing staff of DQ6. So if you use it in battle, it's a single target heal. It heals like 40 to 60 HP and is pretty useful. And it's used, once you get it, it's used for the rest of the run because it's free healing. So having Hero's agility be not necessarily high enough that he goes first, but high enough that he acts before some bosses and your ally and like other party members is pretty useful. That was bad. Pushed the orb up accidentally. Oh, I got an in encounter. Alright, I had to go to the toilet, so that's why I stood there for a bit. Okay, I need to... One of the really stupid things of this game is that the Mirror of Ra is a key item. Like, you need that to progress the story. But you can pick up like you can get Barbara into your party and then leave the Tower of Ra completely. Like not pick up the Mirror of Ra at all. And normally in casual, that would be okay, because you can just re-enter the tower and like ascend the tower and pick up the mirror again. But in the speedrun, because the tower is so dangerous, if you forget the Mirror of Ra, it's a very, very, very big mistake. So I need to... in my notes I have pick up Mirror of Ra bolded and in like a big text size, because I've forgotten it before, and that's really, really bad. Okay, now we use Sandwich and return to Dharma Shrine in order to quickly ascend to the top world, or the dream world, using this wall. Coming up soon is the first true difficult boss of this game, and that boss will show you exactly how difficult this speedrun is. And like, in my opinion, the Japanese runners who have grinded the time for this game down to sub 7 hours are incredibly impressive, because these bosses are like incredibly difficult. Yeah, go ahead. Alright, now we need to do story triggers. I don't remember where Sorty. Oh, okay. Yeah, we need to go talk to the king. And now that we have the Mirror of Ra, which, like, the reflection in the Mirror of Ra dispels all illusions and shows people as true forms. So the king who wanted the Mirror of Ra all along is not who they seem. That's a poor sentence. Alright, so the king's like, I'm gonna plan my strategy, go wait in the planning room on the second floor. So you do that, and things happen. You find out that the king is in fact a queen. And not just some random queen, but the queen of Rydok in another world. And then the queen drops a huge bomb. And it's just like the king might actually be Muto, which is crazy, and like someone's first playthrough, they read that, their mind is just blown. Oh, I've already done that, right, talk to Queen. The story in this game starts picking up really quickly, you know? And it gets really interesting. Because they start finally going into the alternate world stuff. And the way this game tells that side of the story is incredibly interesting. Alright. We switched to Barbara here because it's actually, I think my reason, like why I think we do this might be wrong, but you want less people to take damage from the poison bogs coming up, so you just have Barbara out. Alright, gonna save there because coming up you fight Muto, and Muto's dungeon and Muto himself are both really difficult, and I've already lost more money than I would like to, so if I die at all, if I have someone die, or I die to Muto, I'm loading that save because I don't want to have too little money. Hassan, Muriel, Barbara. Alright. Oh, we use magic potion on Muriel. Never mind. Okay, who has to... Yeah, coming up, on the way to fighting Muto, there's a room that is completely dark, and what you would do in a casual playthrough is go around and activate a bunch of levers to light up specific areas in the dark room, but because the walkway that you need to walk on is present, like it's still there, even if the lights aren't on, you can do that room entirely blind. And even with practice, I'm still inconsistent at it, but it's the fastest way to do